They smile in your face and poison your peace behind your back. They wear masks. Not the kind you see on Halloween, the kind they wear every day. Smiles that don't reach the eyes. Compliments dipped in poison. Hugs that feel more like traps. You know the type. You walk away from them, and somehow you feel smaller, drained, second-guessing yourself, like you've just run a mental marathon and lost track of who you are. That's what toxic people do. They don't just argue, they erode. They don't fight fair, they manipulate. And the worst part is, they do it so quietly, so invisibly, that you start to wonder if it's all in your head. But I'm here to tell you, it's not in your head. What you're feeling is real. What you're experiencing is real. And your instinct to pull away, to protect your peace, to reclaim your voice, it's not selfish, it's survival. Because when you're around a toxic person long enough, you start shrinking. You stop laughing, you lose your fire, you edit yourself. You walk on eggshells so much that you forget how to walk on solid ground. But not anymore. Today, I'm giving you 7 clever, not obvious ways to deal with toxic people. These aren't just set boundaries tips. These are real, gritty, psychological power moves, subtle shifts, silent decisions, strategic actions, moves that give you your strength back. Let's begin. 1. Don't argue, disengage with silence. Toxic people thrive on your reaction. They poke, they prod, they know exactly how to trigger you. And the more you try to explain yourself, the deeper they drag you into their drama. You cannot argue your way out of chaos. You cannot logic your way into their empathy. Because they don't want peace, they want control. So here's your clever move. Stop responding. Let them talk. Let them twist. Let them try. You respond with silence. You're not cold. You're not passive. You're disengaged. You're choosing peace over performance. You're choosing you. Because silence doesn't mean defeat, it means discipline. It's the strength to walk away from what doesn't deserve your words. And when you go silent on a toxic person, it terrifies them. Why? Because it tells them they no longer have access to your emotional buttons. You're not the same person they used to control. You're done explaining your worth to people committed to misunderstanding you. 2. Kill the potential fantasy, accept who they really are. Toxic people rarely show up toxic in the beginning. They show you charm, sweetness, flashes of vulnerability, and then the mask slips. Just a little, then a little more, and then one day you're left wondering who the hell you're dealing with. But instead of leaving, you hold on to potential. You remember the good times. You cling to the version of them you thought they were. And that right there is how they win. Here's the clever move. Kill the fantasy. Not the hope, not the love, the fantasy, the illusion you built in your mind of who they could be if they changed, if they healed, if they finally saw what they're doing. But guess what? That version only exists in your imagination. You want your peace back? Start believing what they're showing you. Not what they say, not what you hope, but what they consistently do. When someone lies, gaslights, criticizes, controls, plays victim, believe it. That's who they are. And you deserve to deal with reality, not a fantasy. Stop watering dead plants. Stop begging someone to be who they were for 5 minutes 2 years ago. Accept who they are, not who you want them to be. Because your peace begins where your denial ends. 3, stop explaining, start enforcing. Toxic people don't lack understanding, they lack respect. You've explained yourself 100 times. You've tried to say it kindly. You've written it out. You've broken it down. And every time they act like they just don't get it. That's not confusion, that's manipulation. And the clever move here is simple. Stop explaining, start enforcing. When you set a boundary, it's not a group project. It's not up for negotiation. You don't need them to agree with you. You don't need them to validate your reasons. You just need to stand firm. And if they keep crossing your line, you don't draw a new one, you create distance. They mock your limits, walk away. They laugh when you speak up, don't come back. They guilt trip you for needing space, That's their problem, not yours. Because boundaries are not about controlling others. They're about controlling access to you. You teach people how to treat you by what you tolerate, and toxic people only stay powerful when you keep trying to win them over. You don't need to win them. You need to win yourself back. 4, shift from emotion to observation. Here's a psychological trick that changes the entire game. Start observing toxic people like a scientist, not reacting like a victim. This shift is subtle, but it's clever. Because toxic people want you emotional, angry, off balance, defensive. Why? Because when you're emotional, you're predictable, controllable, easy to manipulate. But when you become observant, everything changes. You stop internalizing their jabs. You stop feeling the need to prove yourself. You stop personalizing their dysfunction. Instead, you start watching their patterns like data. You see that they interrupt every time you speak and you note it. You realize they always play victim when held accountable, and you document it mentally. You notice that when you're doing well, they're silent, but when you're struggling, they're suddenly attentive. Now, you're not just reacting, you're studying. And when you study someone, you stop fearing them. You stop trying to win their approval. You start detaching. Toxic people hate being observed because once you see their patterns clearly, you can finally break free of them. 5, stop trying to heal them. Heal the part of you that tolerated them. This is the one that hurts. Because sometimes the reason we keep toxic people in our lives is because part of us still believes we deserve them. That's a hard pill to swallow. But real growth starts with brutal honesty. You're not responsible for their wounds. You're not their therapist. You're not their fixer. You're not their parent. Your job is not to heal them. It's to heal the part of you that kept accepting less than love. The part of you that feared being alone more than being disrespected. The part that mistook chaos for passion, criticism for honesty, control for care. You want to deal with toxic people in a clever way? Stop trying to change them. Start changing the beliefs in you that attracted them, accepted them, and allowed them to stay longer than they should have. Because once you heal those parts, the toxic people in your life won't even feel attractive anymore. They'll feel draining, uninteresting, obvious. Healing yourself is the ultimate revenge because it means they can't reach the parts of you they used to destroy. 6, use distance as a detox. Sometimes you don't need a big confrontation. Sometimes you just need space. And I mean real space, physical, emotional, digital. You don't owe them a dramatic exit speech. You don't need a closure conversation. You just need to start detaching. Unfollow. Mute. Step back. Create room. Give yourself permission to breathe. Because here's the thing. The longer you stay in their presence, the more their energy becomes your normal. And toxic energy is addictive. It keeps you hooked, not because it's healthy, but because it's familiar. So when you distance yourself, you go through withdrawal. You'll miss them. You'll second guess. You'll feel tempted to reach out, but hold the line. Because with time, distance becomes clarity. You start to feel yourself again. You laugh without editing. You speak without flinching. You walk into rooms without shrinking. Distance is not weakness, it's detox. And the longer you stay away, the more you realize you were never the problem. 7, rebuild your life around peace, not people. This is the final, most powerful move. Stop building your life around trying to please people and start building it around protecting your peace. That means everything changes. You stop showing up where you're disrespected. You stop giving energy to people who drain it. You stop answering calls that fill you with dread. You stop putting yourself last to make someone else feel comfortable. And instead, you fill your time with people who get you. You spend your energy on things that grow you. You move toward environments that restore you, because peace isn't something you find. It's something you build. And you can't build peace in a war zone. The cleverest move you'll ever make with toxic people is walking away and never looking back. Not to prove a point, not to make them regret it, but because your future cannot be built on the foundation of your past pain, it's time to choose yourself. Toxic people don't change when you beg, plead, or try harder. They change when they no longer have access to the version of you that tolerated them. You don't owe anyone your peace. You don't owe anyone your silence. You don't owe anyone your energy, your time, or your forgiveness if it costs you yourself. You owe it to yourself to protect your light. You're not crazy. You're not too much. You're not the problem. You were just too loyal to people who were committed to misunderstanding you. But not anymore. You see clearly now. You stand stronger now. And you move smarter now. Because today, you learned the 7 clever ways to deal with toxic people. And the most clever move of all is to become so whole, so grounded, so emotionally healthy that they can't even touch you anymore. You are free.